Hi, and welcome back to Rise Up and Shine Ministries. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that it seems many people are talking about right now. It ties in with a lot of stuff biblically. And listen, if you can't tell that Jesus is coming back soon, then you must be crazy, because all the signs are pointing that way. I don't know about you, but I think it's time to get right with our Creator. No matter if you already are, you need to make sure, because you need to give Him your all, because the time is definitely thinning, and Jesus is coming back soon. So let's just go ahead and let's start this. Here we go.
When you experience an eclipse, you feel that connection with space.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, look at the ray structure.
The universe is out there and it's affecting us. We are in space.
And here it comes, there's the diamond ring. And that is the most spectacular sight.
If you haven't seen it, you haven't seen anything.
And that is the 2024 total solar eclipse, the official trailer from NASA, because they're going to be doing it live. They're going to be showing it. But long story short, a lot of people are going to be seeing this. There's people going to be traveling to states like Texas and Ohio. And the Texas government even told people that maybe they should stock up on a little bit of food and water, because many people are going to be going to the gas stations and to the superstores, and they're going to be buying up the water for this event. And there might be a little bit of a shortage. This is going to be a big event. Most of you know that there's Eclipse in 2017 that was just like this, but this path right here that you see my cursor on right now was the total solar eclipse of 2017 on August the 21st. And this is the one that is going to be the one April the 8th, 2024. And you see that I added the one from October the 14th, 2023, because you can see that this is making a letter A. You see that, right? It's a letter A right there. Well, in the Hebrew alphabet, A means the beginning. So this is going to be the beginning, I believe, of something. But the question is, what is it going to be the beginning of? Now, Nineveh was the country that the Bible prophet Jonah went to warn. Most of y'all know the story from the Bible. The book of Jonah talks about a Hebrew prophet in Israel, and God tells him to go to Nineveh and proclaim that they need to repent from their sins and turn to the true living God. But Nineveh was really cruel, and they were enemies with the certain country that he was in. So Jonah disobeys the Lord. He goes to Joppa, gets on a ship, and heads to Tarshish, which is the opposite direction from Nineveh, thinking he can outrun God. Well, truth be told, I don't know if I think he thought it, but come on, common sense, you can't run from God. He's omnipotent. He's omnipresent. He's everywhere at one time. So who's going to try to run away from God? Right? So anyways, obviously, he's on this boat trying to get to Tarshish, and there's this great storm, and you know who it's from. It's from God. And Jonah realizes that, and they cast lots, and they find out that Jonah was the one responsible, these sailors, and say, who are you, and what are you doing? And he told him where he's from. And, long story short, he told him that the only way that this storm is going to calm is if I jump off the ship. And they are like, no, no. And they tried their best to row to land, but they can't. So they pray to God. And they tell him that they ask that this blood would not be upon their hands. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And anyways, he jumps overboard. And God sends a big fish to swallow him. And he's in that fish 3 days and 3 nights. And chapter 2 is about the prayer that he prayed in the fish's belly. And then after 3 days, he had learned his lesson, and the fish spit him up on the lands of Nineveh, right by Nineveh. And this time, God came to him for the second time and said, go to Nineveh and tell them I'm the true living God, and that they need to repent from their sins. And of course, he definitely went to Nineveh this time. No questioning God after that. After 3 days in the fish's belly, am I right? So he goes there, and he says, in 40 days, the city's going to be destroyed. And the word gets to the king, and the king, well, it shook him up. And he said that he proclaimed a fast for the whole people of Nineveh, for the children, even for the animals, and that they should dress in sackcloth and ashes, that maybe God would spare them. And well, Jonah goes up to the city because he wants to watch the city get destroyed, and when the city doesn't get destroyed, he's mad, and he tells God, I knew that this would happen. I knew that your grace would save them, and that's why I didn't want to come here in the first place. And there's a little bit more to the story, but in this time, there was a solar eclipse, the same X formation that you see right here. There was this solar eclipse in Nineveh, and this was obviously warning of a judgment. And if you're still watching right now, listen, on YouTube videos, most people will click on for maybe 30 seconds and they'll click off. But 30 seconds is just the introduction. If you're going to get the whole point, maybe you already got the whole point, but listen. If you're still here, just stick it out to the end, because there's more to come. So, long story short, this solar eclipse brought judgment. It's kind of like this instance in the Bible when Enoch names his son Methuselah, which means his death shall bring. And then if you look at the genealogy in Genesis chapter 5, it shows that exactly when the year of the flood, Methuselah, that's the year that Methuselah died. Some people believe that the flood is what killed him. Some people believe that he died before the flood, like right before the flood, and that's when his death brought it. But anyways, his death brought judgment. So it was prophesied 969 years before the flood that the flood would happen. So maybe this was prophesied from thousands of years ago. Like, we're talking 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. Because there's a solar eclipse then that brought judgment. There's a solar eclipse now. And what do you think is going to happen if this it's the beginning of, in 2017 to 2024, 7 years. 7 years, right? Keeping track, 7 years. And look at this article right here from Tech Sideline. On April 8th, the Great American Eclipse of 2024 will cross over seven U.S. locations named Nineveh. Crazy. On August 24th, August 21st, 2017, the first Great American Eclipse made headlines all over the nation. It was also known as the 7 Salem Eclipse because the path of the eclipse crossed over 7 useful locations named Salem, Salem, Oregon, Salem, Idaho, Salem, Wyoming, Salem, Nebraska, Salem, Missouri, Salem, Kentucky, and Salem, South Carolina. Now, the second Great American Eclipse is almost here, and the path of that eclipse will cross over 7 U.S. locations named Nineveh, Texas, Nineveh, Missouri, Nineveh, Indiana, Nineveh, Ohio, Nineveh, Pennsylvania, Nineveh, Virginia, Nineveh, New York. And the eclipse will also cross over a location named Nineveh in the province of Nova Scotia in Canada. And 8 people got on the ark. 8 people got on the ark. So that's why you see a list of 8 Ninevehs on social media. 8 Ninevehs. Because of that province in Canada. 8 people got on the ark, and it brought a new beginning. 8 means new beginning. 7 means completion. In 7 days, God created the heavens and earth. This is crazy. This is crazy. And Salem is short for Jerusalem. But come on, 7 locations named Nineveh. This is crazy. So, are you getting the picture? Luke 21 verse 25 in the King James Version, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. In the sun and the moon. That's all about what the solar eclipse is about. How the moon blocks the sun. Signs. And there shall be signs, and these are latter days prophecy. And you think that this is just a coincidence. I'm sorry, but you're sadly mistaken. There's more to this. I don't know if this is a beginning of the tribulation, or I don't know if this is the end of the beginning of the tribulation. I don't know. It could seem that way, but it's time to get ready either way. It's time to face God either way before this happens. Because you may not have long. You may not have long. And if this right here is going to be the beginning of the tribulation, I would definitely be ready. Definitely. From where I'm at in Tennessee, in the 2024 eclipse, I'm not going to be in the totality. In the 2017 eclipse I was. I guess I'd be somewhere right in here, but yes. No, actually somewhere right in here. Yep, right there. And this time, it's not going through Tennessee, like one city. So, but if you live in these other states, right in through here, then you're going to be able to see the totality. Or you can watch it on YouTube, NASA. They should be covering it. But I would definitely be watching out for this. Many people are covering this right now. That is all I wanted to say. Remember, guys, it's the signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. Have a good day. Bye.